I want to bring in somebody who knows New Jersey well, Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, who's from the state. He's also the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And Senator, I think you are at a shelter over in Paterson, New Jersey. Am I right?
Correct. Visiting with some of our citizens who are still displaced.
You're seeing it for yourself. You're seeing what they're living, what they're going through. We just heard it from my colleague Ellison Barber on the ground in Manville. You've got the White House asking Congress for at least $30 billion to go towards, recovery from natural disasters, also for Afghan resettlement. $10 billion of that specifically will go to Ida aftermath. Is that enough based on what you've seen?
Well, I think $10 billion is a good number for Ida alone, not for for sharing with other disasters. But we're in the midst of getting the accounting from all the counties. We've had 6 major counties have major disaster declarations. We're pushing for more. We've sent a letter to the president asking for declarations for nearly every New Jersey county, and we also joined as a delegation urging the appropriators to do a supplemental for disaster relief. And certainly Ida has been a huge disaster coming on the heels of just the 9th anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. So this is a critical moment. And as I heard the report before I got on, this is what a disaster declaration is all about. It's about helping people financially get back in their homes, help them replace to some degree the essentials that they lost.
I want to turn to Afghanistan here, Senator, because I know this is a topic of importance and of utmost interest to you. NBC News speaking now with the State Department official who says that the U.S. has not found anyone on manifests prompting security concerns, and the agency is not stopping them from taking off. What are your contacts at the State Department and in the administration, Senator, telling you about the process to evacuate those? We understand 2 planes now at an airport in the northern part of the country. Can you give us a status update?
Well, there seems to be some type of conflict between those who are seeking to take off and the Taliban saying that some of them don't have the appropriate travel documents. And that is, as I understand it, the issue at stake. The reality is that, we just simply, as far as I'm concerned, cannot depend upon the Taliban for the security of American citizens. They will ultimately be accounted for by how they treat American citizens and others who are supposed to be allowed out. And so this is part of what the hearing next week that I will chair will review. Yes, we're going to check the president's, decision in terms of how it was executed, but we're also going to look at the history that led us to this point, including the immediate past history where President Trump, in essence, signed a surrender agreement with the Taliban, and of which the Taliban, as far as I'm concerned, didn't do any of the things that they were supposed to do in that agreement.
Speaking of the Taliban, as you know, they've announced their interim government. A lot of familiar names from, 20-plus years ago when they were in charge. What are the implications, in your view, for not just the region, but for any potential recognition of the Taliban by the U.S.?
I cannot imagine, Hallie, that the United States will recognize the Taliban, especially when they have members of the Haqqani network, a terrorist, as designated by the United States, a terrorist organization whose leader has been designated, and they are in their government. So that is an absolute non-starter, in addition to all the other challenges the Taliban has as it relates to how they will treat women and girls and how they will treat civil society, and making sure that every American citizen who wants to get out gets out, and that those who helped us get out as well. So there's a long way, as far as I'm concerned, before any potential recognition. But as long as a member of the Haqqani network is part of their government, I don't see that happening.
Very quickly, I'm almost out of time, but Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is saying he believes the U.S. will have to go back to Afghanistan at some point down the road because the threat will be so large, in his view. Is he right?
Look, I don't know whether that's the case. I believe that we have the abilities to deal with the counterterrorism actions that we need to take, but only time will tell whether the Taliban stops any foreign fighters from coming in, using it as a base for terrorism against the United States and the West, or not. But I believe that whether they do or they don't, we will have the counterterrorism abilities to strike when we need to make sure the homeland doesn't get attacked.
I'm pushing my luck with my controller here, Senator, but very quickly, Senator Joe Manchin, have you talked to them at all about this threat that he appears to be making, this push that he wants a lower sort of package in this spending bill? Do you think he's serious about that?
Well, I haven't spoken to Joe, but I
Okay.
do know that Senator Manchin's the ultimate negotiator. So I'm not sure that what he says is the final number, but he's probably trying to get it down from $3.5 trillion.
Senator Bob Menendez, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being with us this morning. Thank you for joining us live from New Jersey.
Good to be with you.